Welcome. So, you guys really went and did it. We've officially gone from Chad tanking, blasting high keys, and breathing green fire on people, to wiping entire groups because I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing. Healer edition. If you're new here, what's up? I'm Obey. We just wrapped up a Zero to Hero series, playing as Vengeance Demon Hunter. Now, I had a little bit of experience tanking in Dragonflight, so getting to Keystone Hero wasn't too rough. But then, I gave you guys a little bit of power, and you immediately threw me into the deep end. You piece of shit. And now, this is where we've ended up. It's time to walk and roll. Wait. Oh, it's taken. Oh, I spent all evening thinking of that. A name related to Mistweaver. Mistake? That's taken. Mistakes. Hey! If this is your first time watching a Zero to Hero series, here's the rules. No playing with friends. Not like I have any anyway. But this is a solo challenge. No help from your guilds or anyone on your friends list. No gold transfers. So no hopping onto your alts and sending over your WoW token earnings. You gotta grind that gold yourself like the broke gamer you are. No radar IO connection. You know, like when you hover over someone's name and they have a main IO stat and it's 2.5k? So you invite them thinking they're really good, but they don't even know basic mechanics. Well, that's not us, because we're not even allowed to show our main IO rating. Plus, we don't even know the healer mechanics anyway, so we're going in this blind. Okay, rules are out the way. Let's talk about my process from level 1 to level 80. Oh, I got level 80. Come on. We started in XR Reach. Now, I know you altoholics out there are drooling already, but let's get past this bit. Time walking dungeons were up, so I just spammed those until I hit level 80. Honestly, it took a little over a day, but it didn't prepare me for Mythic Plus whatsoever. What the fuck is going on? Here's how we're looking. Small, depressed, and at eye level lower than our self-esteem. No gold to buy gear, no confidence to heal dungeons. So what's the plan? World Quest. When you're broke at the start of your journey, World Quests are the best bet for quick loot and gold. A few World Quests later, and here's where we're at. Still not quite heroic ready, so I grabbed a couple of gear pieces off the auction house to top things up. I actually gave tier 8 delves a go as well. I'm going to attempt to solo a tier 8 delve as a healer at 5, 6, 7 eye level. I'm just going to take it slow and see what happens. But honestly, going into it, as a healer, I did not expect to do well. But Touch of Death is broken. Every tough mob that I came against got slapped down. Let me just Touch of Death it. Oh yeah, now this is actually kind of a joke that I can do tier 8 delves. We managed to clean out a bunch of delves. It took us a bit longer than I expected because obviously we are a healer, so you can't just pull everything. But we did get some 603 loot, which is nice. And this is where the true adventure begins. Maybe I'll leave out that is my first time, because I might get kicked. So we queued up for our first dungeon, and let me tell you, this pally was moving like he had places to be. I had no clue what was happening. I was just slapping my keyboard and hoping for the best. Next thing you know, the chamois dropped, followed by my DPS. Somehow we managed to clean up the pack, but then came my worst nightmare as a healer. 2 mobs calling in for backup. That's just fucked. Buttons were pressed, cooldowns were popped, but those health bars, they only went down. Yes, we wiped. Jesus Christ. Now, let's talk about this boss fight. Being full melee on this boss is a pain in the ass. If I had a brain cell left, I would have just touched the death this full pin, but no. Someone decided to parry it instead. We all got stunned, and one small mistake snowballed into disaster. I can't fucking play healer. Just kill me. Speaking of mistakes, apparently I can't even walk. I've run my fair share of missed dungeons, and I've never gone that way, and I had to know why. Turns out, this guy's a 636 Demon Hunter main. Wow, who would have thought? Totally believe you. Still, he wanted to go out with a bang, putting on a real show before yeeting himself out the group. Fuck's sake, this is so boring. To say I felt defeated after this dungeon would be an understatement. But as the great Nicky31 said, never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Yeah! I took a little break, revamped my UI, and we went from this to this. With a new look and a shred of confidence, I queued up for a 2 necrotic week. Alright, so these don't know that we absolutely threw that last key. So let's give him a treat and throw his key again. Let's get it. Was I scared? Absolutely. Did I back down? Hell no.
Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world. My soldiers push forward. My soldiers scream out. My soldiers rage.
Holy shit. It's safe to say the new UI is working much better. We made it all the way to the final area of the dungeon with just one death. And that one death was not my fault. Sure, I can throw a heal, but I can't stop someone from instantly dying. The dude should have put his Crocs in sport mode and ran for his life. There were some sketchy moments, but I turned into a healing turret and got him back to full. Shit, now it's my turn to get the hell out of there.
Fixated.
We finished off the final boss with an almost perfect run. The dispels were on point, but we were a bit low on percent, so we had to backtrack. That's when we encountered the scariest mobs in the game. No, not the gatekeepers, the bags. My heart dropped when everyone's health suddenly plummeted. And it didn't help that my tank immediately started sprinting to the next pack without me even emotionally recovering. Them bags are hard to heal. We got no loot, but we did find something better, self-confidence. With that, I decided to tackle one of the harder dungeons to heal, Splaattack. Now, let's be real. There's only so much you can do to save one person in a dungeon, but stopping them from strolling straight into the biggest frontal in the game, yeah, that's out of my hands. One thing I did pick up on from my tanking days is that during the gunfight section, I hang back, just in case someone decides to audition as a target dummy. Another thing that I've learned is that dungeons can go from 0 to 100 real quick. 1 minute you're fine, the next minute your tank instincts kick in, and suddenly you're making plays that just feel natural. Luckily, my tank wasn't dead for long, and we recovered. Everything was smooth sailing until, well...
Zun Zun!
Oh, fuck. We rode that wave straight in to the final boss. And let me tell you, it was a shit show. I went for a swim not once, not twice, but 3 times. I tried my best to keep this guy alive, but sometimes you have to let people go in order to achieve greatness.
Have anything for him?
I thought I found the perfect spot to stand, but somehow I still managed to get launched straight into the boss. Despite all the chaos, we managed to finish with 5 minutes to spare. No loot again, but we hit up a tier 8 delve and snagged ourselves a 603 pants. Plus, another vault slot. It's safe to say, I'm getting pretty good at this. I managed to get through the entire Stone Vault dungeon with 0 deaths. And before you start smashing your keyboard saying, it's a 2, it's a 2, I don't want to hear it. Ever heard of marginal gains? Well, let me show you. I'm timing every dungeon at Keystone level 2. But just because it's a 2 doesn't mean things can't get rough. If you've watched my videos before, you already know I hate City of Threads. The mobs are brutal and the bosses are even worse. Our first wipe to the strongest mob in all of Azeroth. You know he's tough when he's 1v5 and still taking out our DK. And I bet you can guess who wiped us next. In my defense, I didn't expect a random pillar to block my line of sight. Oh, me. Now that I'm not in the tank role, I feel a bit awkward telling people what to do before a boss fight. I usually just ping and hope they understand, but that tends to lead to situations like this. Oh my god. We ended up surviving, shout out to our trusty Algary healing pot, but not having everyone on the same page is absolutely terrifying. We walked away with 2 pieces of loot, one being our best in slot staff, but sadly, it was only veteran level. That was not nice. That was not nice. Wait, why is it only veteran? Seriously? We queued up another dungeon, this time an Arakara. Another smooth run with just 1 death that I couldn't prevent. The final boss had me a little bit worried when its poison mechanic went through. I noticed with the build that I'm using, it doesn't have a lot of AoE healing, so just topping your teammates up during the poison phase can get a little sketchy. I was also afraid of dispelling someone, just in case their wave took someone out, just like mine almost did. Luckily, the guy survived, and we walked away again with 0 loot. We jumped into another dungeon, and honestly, there's nothing much to report. Everything went smoothly, with the occasional death like this. Next time, we're pushing 4s. Stay tuned because things are about to get real. Welcome. We are back with another episode of... Oi! Get the hell out of my shot. Welcome. We are back with another episode of I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Healer edition. Yeah, you heard that right. Healing. Who thought giving me the responsibility of other people's lives was a good idea? Spoiler, it wasn't. But hey, here we are. Let's dive in. It's Wednesday. That means Vault Day. Now, I wasn't expecting much since we didn't run many keys this week. My hopes were low and my expectations were even lower. But when I opened the vault and saw that trinket, I nearly had a spiritual awakening. I even considered calling my ex-wife to tell her I love her again, but decided against it. Let's not get that crazy. So with the god trinket, you'd think I'd jump straight into the action. Nope. Instead, I did some delves. Why? Because sometimes we all need a break from getting people killed in dungeons. I wasn't planning on showing the delves because, let's be honest, they're a snooze fest, but we did get a surprise visit from Zexphere. Oh my god, wait. Shout out to the commentary who told me you can loot his arm for a delve bounty. Oh, and I looted another bounty from the chest. Oh, we got another one? What? I was so excited that I straight up left without even grabbing the final reward, but we can upgrade it. So we'll keep that. The RNG gods must love me this week because I ended up with 2 610 armor pieces. Naturally, I turned them into set pieces because looking good is half the battle, right? But that's not the case because this armor set is trash. Oh, and guess what? We got another bounty from the next elf that we did. Blizzard really is on my side today. Let's see what we got. Really? Ah, never mind. Trash trinket. First 4 key. I can't lie, I was nervous as hell. Healing a 4 felt like stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson. On the very first pull, we lost a DPS. Was it my fault? Maybe. Was I just standing there trying to remember what key to press? Absolutely. When I got taken out, I knew it was time to focus up. Healing is a completely different ballgame. Holy shit. I went from ignoring health bars to panicking when someone takes a tick of damage. Once we got to the second set of mobs, I decided it was time to stop letting my little brother play, and took over. And it was going a whole lot better. Heals were going out, and dispels were finally being removed. We managed to keep everyone alive, but then we got to the second phase of the first boss. Once I landed back on that ship, I must have left my brain cells behind because my brain just shut off. I don't know what it was, but every time I dispelled, it felt like a tactical nuke went off, and then panic set in. The ship was flooded with pools, I had no idea where to go, so I was just smashing my keyboard and hoping for the best. If you want to see what buttons I was pressing, there's a tracker right here. While you're watching the most diabolical gameplay, I might as well throw in that I have a Discord server. It's a fresh community, so we will slowly build it up, but if you want to keep up to date with all my new videos and want to join in and share some tips and tricks, then you're more than welcome. There's a link in the description below. Now, let's get back to the dungeon. We ended up dying, but our teammates managed to take out the boss. I was really struggling to keep everyone alive on this second elite. But the person I was struggling to heal the most was this monk. I don't know what it was, but he was just taking way more damage than everyone else. So I was trying to make it my sole purpose just to keep him alive. But sadly, we failed. Time and time again. When we was at the third elite, the orb flew into the wall, causing us to wipe. It's so hard to keep that guy alive. Oh shit. But it's fine. We got a DK. DKs never die. Oh. So we just flew back down and finished off the elite. Second boss of the dungeon. This is one of the tougher bosses in the game. There's a lot of back-to-back mechanics that need constant healing. We managed to get through the first few waves of mechanics, but sadly, once again, I was fighting for my life trying to keep this monk alive. God, that guy's so hard to keep alive. At this point, he's just a lost cause. The final boss, honestly, was a breeze to heal. The spacing between each mechanic was fine, so keeping everyone up was a walk in the park. We managed to walk away with a 2-chested dungeon and 54 gold in our pocket. Yeah, that was a rough one. To be fair, it wasn't like insane. I just didn't know how to keep him alive. I felt confident going into the next one. That confident, I even signed up for a 5 Arakara, which surprisingly, we got accepted into. Wow, he actually accepted me to a 5 Arakara. What surprised me more was the difference in the tank styles. You got the ones that overpull, the ones who pull just right, and then this guy, the baby puller. Baby pulls, baby. Hey, I don't mind it. I'm not complaining. And I really wasn't complaining. My goal for this dungeon was just to keep people alive. If I could do that, we could time this key. But sometimes things are out of my hands. Remember what I said last episode? Yeah, I can't heal instant death. I think I did really well to keep people alive during the Call and the Brood mechanic. I know this is a low key, but in later keys, this is going to be one of the harder mechanics. So this is good practice here for the future. One death on the first boss by another one shot. Typical. But we played the mechanics really well and managed to take out the boss with no more casualties. I must have been pumping out the heals big time because I didn't even notice I ran out of mana. This was a first for me, so I was struggling to find which keybind I had it on. But we managed to find it and jump right back into action. The next boss went down with no hiccups, and I was just praying that the tank kept the same pulling rate that he has been doing the whole time. And sadly, he got a bit too ambitious, pulling these two mobs together. I know as a tank, pulling these flies plus the scarab can be super rough. If the flies dash as soon as the scarab stuns, it's GG. Normally, when I played DH, I would time my stun as soon as we got stunned by the scarab, so the flies didn't jump at people. But my timing was a little off on Monk, and the inevitable happened. We wiped. I wanted him to do one at a time. We got to the final boss, and yeah, I have no idea why that pool hated me so much. No way. We got back up on our feet, but panic set in. And again, we forgot what button to press. I managed to consolidate, even though everything was against us. We took out the boss, but needed one more mob to close this one out. And thank God we did, because I was feeling the heat of Hell's Gates opening. Another dungeon closed, and we got a trinket. Not a great one, but we would take it. Let's jump right into the next one. Now, I wanted to know if there's some pre-dungeon ritual that I'm supposed to do. So normally, when I'd play Demon Hunter, I would meta just before the key went in. Is there anything like that on Mistweaver that I can do just to give my team a little boost at the start of a key? A shaky start, once again, but watching these videos back, I'm seeing my mistakes and trying to improve. I'm just having problems trying to figure out which life-saving ability I should use in each situation. If you guys enjoy the content, consider subscribing. And don't forget about the Discord, link below. We played the first boss fight pretty well. Somehow, the mage managed to die. No idea where she was stood, but the nameplate was faded out, so she must have been across the dungeon. Can't do anything about that, he was nowhere near me to heal him. This next pack is scary. I always hated this on a tank, and now seeing it from a healer's perspective, it's equally as bad. I managed to barely live here. If this was a higher key, I would be dead. The mage finally decided to join us, and guess what? He brought a friend.
Watch your step.
What? I went off fast. This boss fight with a DK is honestly so easy. From now on, I'm getting a death knight every single time I'm doing this dungeon. First cycle was easy, and by the time the next set of ads came in, the boss was dead. The tank must have loved my healing because he wasted no time pulling everything. We survived, but my butt cheeks were clenched. Speaking of clenching, this next boss was rough. I thought I played it well, but I'll let it play out and let you be the judge.
Do you see a stone
Targeted.
Watch your feet.
I must preserve your parts for later. Not myself. I'm the one who made you.
He's fuming. He loves it. The DK was super upset, but it's lower keys. What do you expect? People mess up the mechanics all the time. Just like I did here. I dispelled too early, causing the tank to get stunned, and then later on dying. I got him killed. But we managed to battle res him and finish the fight. I did notice though that I found it difficult to place these frozen pools, so that's something I will need to work on for later keys. No loot again, but we jumped right into a city of threads. And something fell off. Everything was dying way too fast. We even killed the boss before the second pool even came out. What the hell's going on? What eye level is this guy? Oh my god, I'm getting boosted. I didn't realize. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? The chamois was over 630 eye level. I did go into this dungeon wanting to learn something, but I guess not. Learn nothing. I still have no clue what to do in this dungeon, but hey, learn anything. I'll take the free rating. Let's close this one out with a Siege of Borealis. Now this one was mayhem. When these two dropped to God knows what, I knew we was in for a treat. And oh boy was I right. I didn't feel like I was playing bad, but I was struggling to keep these DPS alive. They just kept dying to one-shot mechanics. This is only a low key, so the death penalty is pretty generous. Some more deaths later, we ended up at Lockwood. And look who decided to join us. How the hell did he get there? Even though we did get a lot of deaths, we still managed to get to the final area with loads of time to spare. But for some reason, the tank thought, sack it. Let's speed things up, and pulled way more than we could handle. I can't handle all this, man.
Spread.
I got no cooldowns left.
Pulling in.
Bit too much there. Bit too much. We almost ended up wiping, but our Pally and Monk both clutched up. I see. And with that, I thought the chaos was over. No, it only just begun. We got one of them back up. Surely they'd learn from their mistakes. Nope. He died again. This guy's died 8 times. Dispelling this boss is really hard. I always have in my head that people die in 2 ticks, so I've got to instantly dispel. But that just causes more chaos.
Defensive.
Incoming.
Defensive.
Yeah, I did make the Warlock go for a swim here, but we know he loves water, so it's only fitting he dies once more to it. What the fuck? I don't know who stood next to me sometimes. Like, I saw 2 paladins stood next to me and I was like, it was like 50-50 whether I got the right one. Because I could not see their name. Oh shit. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all of that good stuff. In the next episode, we will push even higher. Keystone Master is within our grasp. So let's lock in and achieve that goal. Welcome, welcome. We are back with another episode of I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. Healer Edition. This time, we're diving right into the deep end, pushing higher keys. How's the journey been so far? Chaotic, stressful, and somehow it's still fun. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. Thanks for all the support. If you guys are enjoying my pain and suffering, please consider subscribing. We're so close to 1K. Now, we've got some good keys today. We got some good ones, and we got some bad ones. So let's dive right in. You'd think with a dungeon called Mist, you'd add some visibility, but no. Between the fog, my clunky UI, and my questionable decision making, I'm basically playing blindfolded. How did I get rooted here? Who knows? I should have just pressed my oh shit button, but that's a long ass cooldown I'm not willing to waste. I'm trying to be a responsible healer here, but I suck. So I normally rely on a weak aura to tell me which door to go through. So when it comes to the clone mechanic on the first boss, I have absolutely no clue which one it is. I thought I pinged the right clone here, but I guess I was wrong. Yeah, we ended up wiping. Oh my god, did he walk into me with the Vulpin? It's not too bad though. We finished the boss with 12 minutes to go, so I wasn't too worried about timing the key. And the final boss was not too bad, except for the pulsing AoE. I thought this would send my team into a panic, but if I just keep hitting it, the heals go out. Once the AoE is finished, I make sure to group up with my tank so the whole place doesn't get flooded with swirls. Luckily, the ad mechanic came to me, so this boss was a walk in the park. We made it out alive with 5 minutes to spare, and someone even traded me a chest piece, which is nice. Hopefully my healing was better that time. Renewing Mist went up 18%, which is decent. Next up, Grim Battle. This dungeon lives up to its name. Grim, yes. What? The first boss was fine until the last 15%. The affix came at such a terrible time because Skull Splitter plus Haste Balls means night-night tank. We got a little lucky and didn't grab the aggro, So I just touched the death the boss and we moved on to the next. This dungeon is wild. I know a lot of people moan about it, but I never really noticed how hard it was until I played it as a healer. The AoE that the mobs put out is insane. And what the hell is this? He's on minus 24 health. He's past life and death. He's transcending into a different dimension beyond my understanding. Ascension at it once again, being an absolute pug killer. Such an annoying ability. So it seems like the god spot is more common in these dungeons now. Sadly, our DPS ripped aggro just as we got him into the sweet spot. Heals got sent out, but the deed was done. Okay. We couldn't keep everyone alive. So yeah, we wiped.
ごめん、あまない。俺は今、お前のために怒ってない。誰も憎んじゃいない。今はただただ。
I was more prepared this time though. I hit the tank with a speed boost, we set up nicely, and I could heal through each mechanic with no problems. And I finally now understand why it's called the god spot. You don't really see it from the tank's perspective, because it's like you're in a first person shooter, but this setup is super nice. The final boss is a strange one. That AoE hentai mechanic is a bit of a pain, but as long as I keep hitting the boss, we will all live. And with 10 deaths and 5 minutes to spare, we finished the dungeon. We got ourselves a weird trinket, but there was a ring up for grabs. Oh, 57. I'm gonna lose. I always lose rolls. 3. Thank you. 3. I love that he rolled a 3. It really made my night. Normally it's me rolling bad, so this felt super good. Remember at the start of the dungeon when I said we've got some rough dungeons? Yeah, this is one of them. I also need to mention that we have a Discord server. I set up a few more sections now where people can post or find what add-ons and UI I'm using. So if you want to join, there's a link in the description below. Somehow we all managed to not rage quit here. Holy shit, I just went into... Oh. And we finished off the first boss with no more issues. But I guess the tank completely forgot what just happened and he went and pulled way more than I could handle. My DPS started taking damage and the next thing you know, my tank was 6 feet under.
Dodge.
What the bro? Let's not slow down and move right into the duo boss. As you can see, the hunter's dead. What happened to him? He got burnt alive. But who am I to judge another when I myself walk as an imperfect man? Oh no. Oh my god.
Defensive.
Watch your step.
I don't know, bro. Oh my fuck. Yeah, we closed it out, but I can't lie. Watching that back, I still don't have a clue what the hell was going on. 6 necrotic wake, all my homies hate. We don't talk about that. Apparently healing gives you... I just said we're not talking about it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. Sorry.
As you can see, the dungeon is going somewhat smooth. Second boss almost got a little bit scary, but we managed to get through it. And then we got to the dreaded third boss. We failed the hook a few times and suddenly the tank just died. I just froze. I didn't know what to do. Everyone was just dying. I don't know. How did he just instantly die? Then the worst possible thing happened. The warlock thought he was too good for us and left, which is so annoying because we would have killed the boss on this turn. I don't know. Everyone's just dead. We ended up wiping, but we tried once more without him. One more go. And now that we got rid of the dead weight, we managed to finally take down the boss. But it wasn't easy. It took a lot of button mashing and a little bit of patience. We died again on the final boss. Again, I didn't realize how strong the AoE pulse was. And once I got back up, the tank insta-died. So we wiped, but we managed to kill the boss and finish the dungeon. I hate that warlock, man. I don't know why he would quit. Guys, do not be like this warlock. There's plenty of time left. Just play it out because miracles can happen. Moving on to Siege of Borealis. Oh, I didn't know which way it was. All right. Yeah, I'm blind. What's new? But I'm not the only one who gets hit by swirls and frontals. These are the only 3 deaths we had this dungeon. I never. Oh, and I do get loot. Wallbound. Once again, no loot, but we did gain one thing: experience. And with that experience, we tried our hand at our first 7, and it was going well until. What's just happened? Oh my god, my internet died. Yeah, we disconnected. And once we connected back, my Celadon decided to take a vacation. Why can't I heal? So that means 50% of my healing abilities didn't work. It's not like I was going to use them anyway. I told my tank to hang on, but that guy was waiting for nobody. The reload still didn't work. How am I dead? So we tried the good old, have you tried turning it off and on again? And with that, we was back in business. Until the tank decided to speed things up and pull way above my capabilities. Of course we wiped, and for some reason our team wanted to clear the middle path again, but I told them it's 11% and it will take ages. And surprisingly, they listened. Our first 7 key officially done. And let me tell you, it wasn't too bad. As long as I keep hitting them mobs, nobody's dying. Now this was the worst dungeon of the night. Healing this Dawnbreaker was rougher than seeing the visual changes to Illyria. To put it simple, this tank was awful. I'm not trying to flame, but man, his route was awful. Also, he didn't listen when I asked him to not pull the 3rd elite with this pack. I literally just said don't pull it with this, and he goes and does it anyway.
What's your...
Oh, sorry. But he still did it twice. Oh my god, he's just gone and done it again. And guess what? Yeah, we wiped. The second boss was actually easier than that 3rd elite pack. He also wasted no time after killing this boss to pull these random ass mobs. I didn't even know there was mobs behind this house. What's going on? And guess what? They're hard as hell as well. You'd think he'd learn, bro, but no. He went and pulled them again. We still timed the dungeon, but Jesus, that was 23 deaths of pure pain. And honestly, it ruined my night. That was the roughest dungeon I've done so far. Honestly, that was insane. The guy did the worst route I've ever seen. Honestly, the worst route. Like, is that bugged or something? There's no way. 380k. The goal for the night was to get 2000 IO rating, but I didn't realize I needed mostly 7s. So that was off the table. We just ran one more dungeon for the night, which was a City of Threads. And thank God this one was smooth. Yeah, I got run over by the ball, but that's not the first thing that's knocked me down today. It's a reoccurring theme at this point. We got back up and closed out the dungeon, and that was me done for the night. No loot, once again, but we did learn a valuable lesson. Healing is super rough. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, hit that sub button, and join the Discord. Welcome, welcome. We are back with another episode of What Am I Doing? Please End My Suffering! Healer Edition. We finally hit 1,000 subs, so big shout out to everyone who showed me some love. We do have a Discord, so if you want to join the community, there's a link right below. Let's just jump right into today's episode. So again, just like the last episode, we had some good ones and some bad ones. Who the hell am I kidding? They were all bad. So, plan today was dead simple. Hit 2,000 rating so I can snag a hero track set piece. Easy peasy, right? Wrong. Oh, so wrong. I thought 130 score to go, 2 dungeons and we're golden. But no, the RNG gods are different stories. Between the bad tanks and my questionable healing skills, we was in for a lot of pain and suffering. Let's break it down. The first run was like watching toddlers sprint into traffic. Chaos from start to finish. Our tank, bless his clumsy heart, he pulled the hardest pack in the dungeon right off the bat. Oh, don't pull this pack. Oh my god. So I do know the strat here. When someone gets the balls on him, you dispel him, right? Well, it's pretty hard to make a decision whether or not to dispel him or not. We ended up losing our DPS, but it is what it is. Sometimes you just gotta get rid of that dead weight. You'd think after that hard pull, my tank would stop and have a breather, but no. He dived straight in to another spicy pull. Let's talk about the damage output. These packs weren't insane, but when they take ages and you're running out of cooldowns, you are most likely going to lose a person. I really need to start using my abilities more. I sit on my big cooldowns for way too long. If someone's going to die, I should just use them. But I was trying to save him for the first boss. Speaking of the first boss, it was hell. I got stunned as soon as the orb mechanic came out, and the AoE pulsing almost sent us all to the Shadow Realm. When the next rotation came, I knew it was going to be a bad one. The tank never pinged which way he was going, so my DPS just stood there and bathed in the pool of death. We reset and ran it back, and I thought it would go better. But sadly, my tank forgot how to walk, so we ended up dying. Why is this guy going? The dungeon, incomplete, confidence shattered, we're moving on. After that fiesta, I was about to log off. But no, we followed the life of Nick A30. Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Yeah. This time, my tank actually checked in on me before he went full Leroy Jenkins. This dungeon was about one thing, not sitting on our cooldowns like an idiot. First boss, we smashed it. The dispel timing was perfect, thanks to the add-on that was screaming down my ear when to dispel.
Dispel.
And the healings, that was all me. We didn't even need the add-ons for that.
Are you sure about that?
The second boss was clean, but then we did the classic butt pull. Kept it together and pressed every button I had, and somehow we managed to keep everyone alive. Things were looking good until... Oh, that is... wow. Here's the thing. When you're a healer, you also want to do damage. So sometimes you pump a little bit too early and you die. Sadly, that ended up causing us all to wipe. I should have probably hang on a little bit and wait for the res, but I completely forgot. I did ask my tank to take the right path here, but for some reason, he pulled it into the room, which set off a chain reaction, and yeah, we wiped again. That's insane. How did he do that? I wanted to sleep the mob here and take the cart, but I completely forgot my own keybinds and barrel rolled straight in to death. I pressed the wrong button. That guy needs to dispel himself. The final boss and 2 minutes left. Sadly, I cannot dispel people on this boss. They will have to do it themselves. But one of my DPS just refused to dispel himself, and then he just fell over. Another DPS soon followed, but at least we got the chamois back. You'd think he'd learn and dispel himself by now, but nah. We did manage to time the key with a minute left and come out with a fat paycheck. Oh wow, Jesus, that's the most loot I've ever seen. That was I don't know, man. I feel like I could have done better. Renewing Mist is 71%. Alright, so Enveloping Mist was up for 71% of that dungeon, I think, or maybe 72%. The goal is to get it a bit higher. Did I get it up at least? No, I got it down. Quite damn low. Right, this one. Where do I start? Picture this. Fresh-faced, full of hope, ready to heal the world. But in reality, we got smacked in the face by a swirl mechanic and sent straight to the graveyard. No way, bro, that comes down so fast. Luckily, no one else died, and we managed to group up with the team with only one death. The Dragon Simulator was absolutely dreadful. We barely cleared out any mobs, so we had to clear out each pack leading up to the first boss. And guess what? The first boss also dragged on forever. So long, the mechanics started overlapping in ways I didn't even know were possible. 9 minutes in, one boss down, and my hopes were lower than my DPS's damage. Then came the giants. Oh, the giants. You think healing one giant is bad enough? Yeah, try healing two. And I can give you one guess of what happened next. Yeah, we wiped. It gets better though. We didn't reset the mobs, so we just wiped again and again. For some reason, our tank decided to skip every single mob in this game, so when we got to the final boss, we had a glimpse of hope of maybe timing the key, but sadly, we all died with 20% left. Oh, that's annoying. Was I salty? Just a tad. If we timed that, I think I would have got Keystone Master there. It's kind of irritating, to be honest, but I mean, it is what it is. When you got a mage doing less damage than a tank, you know, there's only so much you can do. And when somehow you're out interrupting your goddamn tank as well, like, I mean, there's only so much you can do. I thought my heals were fine. I'm happy with my performance. Could it have been better? Yeah, of course it could. Have I been playing this class for 3 days? Yes. This time, I was ready, warmed up, and focused. And then, a DPS died to a baby pull. I kind of let my tank die here, but I really didn't think he would die. I main Demon Hunter, so honestly, I thought he'd be fine. What the Speaking of fine, I wasn't.
Defensive.
Once I heard both of these AoEs going off at the same time. I hate the fact that I couldn't stop my spinning crane kick here, because I would have gotten off my AoE healing ability and lived. Luckily, no one important died, so I just joined back up the squad like nothing happened. We took down the first boss and jumped right into the maze, and it was going fine until I let my tank die again. Luckily, we kited the pact, and there was no more deaths. Getting overwhelmed. I can't fucking heal him. I'm like so afraid of using revival, man. I should just use my abilities. I'm like sat on him for no reason. This wouldn't be a miss if someone didn't die to the dodgeball mechanic.
Shouldn't we like learn by dodging balls that are thrown at us, or?
I healed through this big pull fine, but once it got to the next pull, the damage output was just way more. We lost our tank, and soon after, we all followed. There was no more deaths after this, and we cleaned out the final boss with 5 minutes to spare. I thought with this key, my pain and suffering would be over, but sadly, we have to do one more. Really? Oh wow, we didn't get bloody Keystone Master. God damn it. Oh, 5. We need 5. Last dungeon of the day. Surely this one will go better. Everything was going fine until the second elite when my lightning connected with the pack at the bottom of the stairs and chaos erupted. And this is when I needed to lock in. I tunneled vision right onto the elite, making sure I used Touch of Death before we all wiped. Mission accomplished. Sort of. We still wiped. The next boss was painful. We wiped 2 times, both being just silly mistakes. The first one, the tank ate the tank buster mechanic. And the next one, oh no. Bro. Yeah. Final boss, by this point, I was numb. Another DPS death? Sure. Why not? But somehow, we managed to still time the key. Thank God I got Keystone Master. Man, healing's so rough. I don't think I can handle this. With the last run finally over, we finally hit 2000 IO rating. We officially have a 4 set. Hopefully, this will make us good at the game. But let's be real, we still suck, and the pain's only just begun. And that will give us a 4 set. Boom. If you've enjoyed watching me suffer, stay tuned for more. Hit that sub button, join the Discord, like, comment, all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Welcome. We are back with another episode of I kinda understand what I'm doing now, but not really. Healer edition. So this one's gonna be a little bit different. Let's just say we did the classic, recorded double audio once again.
Are you stupid or something?
I know, my bad, but don't worry, I'm gonna spare you the agony of listening to this mess.
Here. Frontal. Crowd control.
We tackled 2 dungeons today, both being Necrotic Wake. I did them a day apart, so I didn't realize they were the same dungeon until just now. There were some clutch moments though, and obviously some fails, so we'll just get right into that. Oh, and we also did a time walking raid. That was interesting. We got a shiny 610 hero track gear from it, but was it an upgrade? Let's find out. We're kicking things off with the first and only dungeon of the episode, Necrotic Wake. And honestly, it was going smooth until... Oh, what the hell? What? I swear I was behind this mob, not in front of it. I'm calling for a VAR check.
Yep, we're just checking over it now. Can we zoom in on the play, please?
So it does look like the referee is looking over the play. For me, Jeff, it wasn't offside. And it seems the manager agrees. Oh, he looks absolutely furious with the decision. It seems like they're bringing in the lines now, Jeff. Hold on. We are getting some news from the ref, so let's hear what the decision is.
After review, there was no offside offense.
I told you we were behind the mob. Anyway, we cleaned with the second boss like a pro. I was hoping we'd have no more deaths, so I could go home with some good news from my wife, but sadly, he sucked me dry. Moving on. The third boss was almost a disaster. We nearly wiped, but let's be real, I can't heal through instant death mechanics. That one wasn't on me. The final boss, I managed to use one of the tips you guys shared. I accidentally cleansed the DPS too early, stunning our tank. Unlike last time though, where the tank just died, I used Tiger Lust this time to unroot him. Big shout out to the commenter who suggested that. Hit me up with your details and I'll send you a brand new Xbox 360. Not the standard edition though. You know that cool Halo 3 one? Yeah, that one. That was sloppy. The next Necrotic Wake run started clean, but then I messed up my interrupt and all hell broke loose. Still, I think I clutched up here. Check out this ability tracker I have here to see what buttons I pressed. This time, we actually used our cooldowns and actually became a proper healer. We managed to pull through without any casualties. A huge improvement from just a few days ago. when I'd panic even if the tank took a tick of damage. Unfortunately, from this pull, our tank did develop short-term memory loss. Just because we handled the last pack clean doesn't mean you can continue to pull like that. I only have so many interrupts. We lost the DPS, but we managed to not wipe, so luck was on our side. Then the tank charged straight in to another pack. No waiting, no time to breathe, and guess what? Yeah, he died. Somehow, we managed to kite the pack and all live, which I'm a little confused about because that big guy has a frontal that one-shots you. Believe me, I know. I had a first-hand experience just yesterday.
Oh, what the hell?
What? Yeah, I was definitely behind that mob. We took out the next 3 bosses without any more issues and scored a massive eye level upgrade. We went from veteran wrist all the way to hero track wrist.
Oh, that is such a massive upgrade.
Onto the time walking raid. We're going on a trip in a time walking ship. Be honest, you've been waiting for this part, but sadly, it was a total walk in the park. I'm pretty sure I wasn't even healing half the time. You're probably wondering why there wasn't many dungeons this episode. Well, that's because I've been playing on my Demon Hunter again, and I was thinking of bringing back another series pushing all the way to 3000 rating. I really enjoy that class, and I think it'd be a fun challenge. So if you want to see that, leave a comment below. And while you're down there, hit that sub button and join the Discord. Maybe we can run some keys together. Let's kick things off with a car ride. Don't ask. I did pull some Fast and Furious moves. Get away from him! Ah! But every good movie always ends in a tragic death, and that happened to us at the end of the first boss. Oh shit. Oh shit. We're dead. Oh shit. Run! I'm dead. Some more bosses later, and we got to this Greek god looking dude. He looked cool, but he was weak as hell.
Lay him where he stands.
Oh, he's lost both arms. Oh, what? Kill him. Disarmed. Haha, you see what Hey. Who's this? Then we met the love of our life, our golden goddess. But sadly, she didn't last very long. You left him, man? Oh, poor guy. Later. Gave him a little wave. Some more bosses later, we ended up at the end of the raid. And there was another Mistweaver there who claimed he had the best transmog. I've got to say, they did look cute. But let's be real, we looked strong. I'm gay. I'm gay. We finished the raid and headed back to Dalaran. There's man like Uggy, looking cute, looking strong. Hey, Frank, hey. Oh! 610 hands? Seriously? Couldn't even throw in a current raid trinket or something? Such a letdown. It's fine though, because I've got a tip for you. Want an easy 619 weapons? Well, I know a guy. Well, not really a guy, but more like a cute spider. If you've completed Act 1 of the War Within campaign, you should have this questline. And let's be real, we all should have it because it took us a month to get Mythic plus dungeons. The questline itself is pretty straightforward. It's basically talk to this person, kill those guys, go back to that person, kill these guys, go back to that person, kill this guy. Hello, I'm here to kill you. Go back to the other person, and then bam, you're in the raid. But don't do what I did. I thought these guys were real players. Turns out they're NPCs, and I made myself look like a fool. Wait, are these NPCs? These are NPCs? Oh my god. I thought it was real people. Oh my. The good thing about the questline, it's all in one spot, and you can finish it in under 20 minutes. I'll leave a link to the guide that I watched in the description below. And while you're down there, smash that sub button. Later, bitch. Hey, whoa. Hey, give us a close-up version there. Oh, and I've killed her. She's dead. He's dead. That gives us this, which we can craft a 619 weapon with it. Once you're done, you'll get an enchanted crest. You will have to dig into your pockets though and spend some gold on 3-star mats. Then it's just about finding a crafter. Overall, it cost me 15k to make this weapon, which I don't think is too bad for a 619 weapon. All right, there's our 619 weapon. That's going to take us from 609 all the way to 611. Yay! Speaking of gold, here's a tip from one of my previous series. Mining and herbing is the way forward if you're a lazy person like me. Just flying around, gathering flowers and stone, and selling them on the auction house for easy cash. Here's some good flying routes, but even randomly gathering between dungeons can net you a pretty nice paycheck. If you like the content, subscribe. If you made it this far, we already know you like the content, so hit that subscribe button anyway. Like, comment, all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Welcome. We're back with another episode of I Know What I'm Doing Now, but it's still rough. Healer edition. We've officially leveled up to the 8 keys. Probably a bit early, considering I'm still rocking champion gear, but sometimes you gotta jump into the deep end and hope you don't drown. Let's kick things off with a Dawnbreaker. So I've ended up changing my talent builds from Conduct to Master of Harmony, and while it's been smoother overall, I do lose some of my panic heal buttons. This means boss fights like this can get a little bit spicy. I don't know what was going on, but our 2 range DPS decided they were playing how much damage can I take without dying. And it was really towing the line with how much damage they can take. The pools kept spawning on them, and instead of running towards a boss after dropping them, they ran away, way out my range of healing. We lost the Warlock pretty early, had to burn a battle res to get him back up, and then things got chaotic. I wasn't paying attention and walked straight in to the giant beam and died. I accidentally just touched it. I'm an idiot. Round 2. Even worse. The pools were everywhere. The tank was getting wrecked by the tank buster. Oh, and the DPS? They were slowly ticking down. You're probably wondering why I wasn't doing anything. Well, I looked down at the cooldowns and I had nothing up. And I straight up forgot to dispel this mage. One thing led to another. And yeah, we fully wiped. GG, the key was done. I've got a game plan for next time though, so hopefully it goes much better. That was just a warm-up key. Next, we headed into Necrotic Wake, a dungeon I thought would really push my healing skills to the limit. Well, it didn't at first, because the bank was The tank started as a baby puller, clearing packs one by one at a cool and easy pace. I turned my back for 1 second though, and boom! Time to chain pull the entire map. I bet you can smell what's coming. I'll let this play out. You can view what buttons I press with the ability tracker right here. Let's go.
Here.
Bit of an ambitious pull, this one, if I'm being totally honest.
Here.
I swear these guys are just healing up. I don't know how they're healing up, but I swear they are. Yeah, I bet you thought we was going to wipe, didn't you?
Here.
We're not the same healer we was a few episodes ago. We're a god healer now. The next boss went down like butter. Was it my stellar healing? Absolutely not. We had a DK who just pulled the mages without even asking for consent.
Get over here!
Run.
I fucking... Oh, my sweep wasn't up. So, my sweep was up, mate. Spinning crane kick gets me killed so many times. I need to make it so I can cancel it. Oh, God. Okay, I thought I had my leg sweep up. Come on. I was like 0.2 seconds of having it up. Ever since I've become a healer, swallows and frontals have been a magnet to me. It feels like I'm their primary target in every situation. Take this DPS, for example. He got both cleaves on him and just stood there and took him straight to the face. For anyone struggling with this, aim one at the mob and pop her defenses for the second. Or you can let your tank soak one. Just don't stand there like deer in headlights, because you will die. We almost wiped on the third boss, but we survived and moved on to the final boss. I did a massive blunder right away on the final boss. The AoE pulsing was hurting big time, and I didn't realize I didn't have enough time to cast my AoE healing, so I just insta-died. Oh my god, I was using the shield. My bad. I was hoping to get a quick battle res, but it never came, and when we finally did, the AoE pulsing was just too strong and we wiped.
Red.
Oh, yeah, this is...
Target you.
This AoE pulsing hurts big time. When we ran it back, I was having real issues healing through it. But all I've got to do is hit the boss. But sometimes when the icicles drop down, the whole place turns into chaos. We did manage to take down the boss, but we needed percent. After one quick gatekeeper, it was time to run back.
Oh my god.
At least we got some loot and our daily steps in.
Thanks, brother. What is going on?
Pulling in. Whirlwind.
Don't count.
Stop.
Okay, there was nothing I could do about that frontal. Let's just forget about it and move on. Also, I think you guys are forgetting about something. 90% of the people who watch this video are not subscribed. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I can hear you munching on your sandwich during your lunch break. Hit that sub button. We know you love the content, so help a brother out. We also have a Discord. Link below. This dungeon isn't too bad to heal overall. The first boss is a bit messy, because you're just getting chased around by a big dumb giant. But the rest of the mobs are pretty straightforward. Not much AoE damage, so as long as you kick the main abilities, you're golden. Lockwood, again, easy. She has one AoE dot, but if you keep hitting her, everything's fine. The next area is annoying solely because of the camera angles. I can never find the right spot to see what's happening. My strategy is just to stay locked on to the Tempest, interrupt his big ability, and pray that no one butt pulls. The boss giant, simple. The AoE damage is manageable at this key level. I guess the only tricky part is dodging the waves. But I just speed boost my DK and we're all good. Except for our pally. His horse must have went on vacation or something. The final boss is crazy. That dot mechanic hit so hard. It dropped me to half HP right away. I quickly dispelled myself, but I had nothing else for the mage. So I threw a nice little shield on him and hoped that he would live. When the next set came, I was a little bit more prepared. I used my racial ability this time to cleanse myself, but then I started wandering around like a headless chicken. It turns out our warrior was hitting the other tentacle, which honestly threw me off so hard I stopped healing for a good 5 seconds, which almost made us wipe to the smash. Thank God we survived, but I did end up dying on the very last tentacle to another swirl. Yeah, I know, that's basically how I die every dungeon. We 2-chested this dungeon, so that's a huge win considering this is one of the harder dungeons. He might get hit hard, brother. He might be alright though, because he has crafted gear, so he's got to be somewhat decent if he's got crafted gear, right?
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
This dungeon was rough. No defensives, no interrupts, and minimal damage output made it harder than it needed to be. People said once you get to 8s, the players get better. But after this, I don't believe you. I'm the one normally dying to swirls, but someone else stole my limelight for this dungeon. Somehow, we did manage to take out the first boss and make it all the way to the second boss. And when this we managed to defeat the first boss and make it to the second boss. And when this spad came in, I felt like no one was ever kicking this mob. So I was so worried about being stunned that I didn't watch where I was standing and died. Honestly, with this final boss, I didn't have much of a game plan. I wasn't sure if it was my job to get the pulls, and I didn't know who to dispel. As you can probably guess, we did end up wiping. I have no idea what caused them to die, but looking back at it, it looked like they got run over by the green wave. We regrouped, and I figured out a rhythm. Dispelling the low eye level hunter, and pray it worked for the best. But we lost our warlock. I should have used revival here, but I panicked and didn't want to cause absolute carnage. We didn't time the key, but I did feel like I leveled up as a healer. Oh, and loot? Yeah, still nothing. Classic. And he got the trinket. Let's close this episode out with our weekly vault. In the next episode, I'm going to try and get all 8s in every dungeon, and then we will start to push even higher. Keystone Hero is within our grasp. Confidence is high, so let's close this one out with a bang. We ended up picking up the chest, which is a massive upgrade for us. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Welcome, welcome. We are back with another episode of Please End My Suffering. I can't handle this anymore. Healer Edition. The goal today? Push higher keys, 8s and 9s. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. Let's kick things off with an 8 Arakara. Why are they all coming to me? Am I dead? Go on to the next one, I guess. Well, we got into another one really quick, so I mean, it is what it is, well, at least the dungeon queues are quick, right? But of course, I get thrown straight into a City of Threads, the dungeon equivalent to stepping on a Lego. Our tank decides to kick it off strong by pulling the hardest pack in the goddamn dungeon. Gotta love the confidence. Things were actually going okay until someone decided to get hit by the slowest moving ball in Azeroth. Like how? Not that I can judge though, because I ended up eating one as well. Oh, I'm gonna get stunned by that. Am I fucking dumb? The first boss started off surprisingly smooth compared to the last time. I got stunned as soon as the orb mechanic came out, and the AoE pulsing almost sent us all to the Shadow Realm. When the next rotation came, I knew it was going to be a bad one. The tank never pinged which way he was going, so my DPS just stood there and bathed in the pool of death. Just as I started thinking, hey, maybe this is the run where everything goes right, our tank decides to channel his inner Houdini and slip one right past us. What the ping? Which way you going, you? The calmest healer in 2024. Somehow we didn't wipe and we made it to the boring part of the dungeon. I don't remember these mobs hitting this hard. The dots mixed with other random attacks had me panicking big time. Tisk, tisk, tisk. For some reason, I kept getting this weird bug where it would just randomly tab me off my target. So sometimes I'll just be stood there hitting absolutely nothing. And this couldn't have happened at a worse time. I hear this boss is a healer's nightmare, and I understand why. There's some super early overlaps. If you're not really prepared for them, you will wipe. Luckily, I got my oh shit button off here. But I think if this was any higher, we would probably have wiped. We survived, but barely. That was so stressful. I don't know if I played it well or not. I don't know. I was just clicking buttons. The next mini boss hits harder than my coked up uncle. I should have used Revival here, but knowing there's some beefy boy coming up, I wanted to save it. Oh. I say beefy, but it was more of a Mr. Blobby. Going into the boss fight, my mana bar was looking lower than my self-esteem. Dark Pulse was ripping us a new one. With that hard mechanic out the way, my confidence started going up, just like my mana bar. But we were so fixated on the bar filling up, we didn't even notice that we was in range of Mr. Blobby's haymaker. We got a battle res and finished off the fight, and thank God we did, because we would not have survived another rotation.
Defensive.
This tank must have really good faith in my healing skills, because from my experience as a tank, pulling these two mobs together usually leads to a team wipe and a rage quit. We made it through one of the mechanics I was worried about, but what about the next? Pick up instead. I have no idea how I didn't die there, but we take it and move on to the final boss, which for some reason was super easy. Why when I play as a tank, everyone seems to forget how to play the game? As long as I keep hitting the boss and using my big spenders on Splice and the Slam, we are bing chilling. We took the boss down with 6 minutes to spare. 8 City of Threads complete. I was happy and super stressed all at once. That was so stressful. Can't lie, man. I was really struggling at some points. At some points, I should have used my big cooldowns, but I knew a bit further ahead there was going to be harder enemies. So I was just like, I don't really want to use it. Then I was just like, I should have just used it. Oh well, lesson learned. Lessons are always being learned in these videos. I make sure to hang back here so it didn't end up like last time. I'm just not hitting anything, and I'm not even going to heal anyone either. The healing journey so far has been absolutely amazing, and I couldn't be pushing these high keys if it wasn't for all the solid advice you guys have been leaving in the comments. So big shout out to all of you. We are coming to the end of the series, and now the big question is, what's next? We've done a tank to Keystone Hero, and now we've almost done a healer to Keystone Hero. We could try a DPS, but knowing that we could be sat in queues for hours just makes it really off-putting. But again, I will leave the power to you. But honestly, seeing everyone enjoy Hardcore Classic WoW gives me the itch to play it. I don't know how funny it would be as a solo journey. Also, I've never really played WoW Classic, so it could prove to be a bigger challenge than getting Keystone Hero. Share your thoughts in the comments, hit that sub button while you're down there, and also join the Discord. As you can see, with the stuff going on in the background, the dungeon was going pretty well. Then, of course, the tank had to go and pull the dumbest play I've ever seen. At no point in the dungeon did he say he was going to do this, and this just blindsided everyone. Oh, what the Bro. Ping? And of course, we ended up wiping. You'd think this time it would just clear the pack. We needed it for percent anyway, but no. He dove straight back in. This was a very messy boss from start to finish. We did end up losing a DPS, but we managed to not wipe. That was so messy, that was unreal. I did end up getting that weird bug again, where it randomly tabbed me off my target, which caused a bit of chaos. I used my big cooldown, but it didn't matter because the tank still ended up dying. Oh no, I've just used... Oh no, I'm dead. Listen, suck me in. Yeah, it does. I knew that was gonna happen.
What's your step?
What? 2 battle reses used on me because I'm an absolute donut. The pally told me to behave, which led to some instant karma. You'll love to see it.
Defensive.
We managed to clean up the boss with no more hiccups and snagged ourselves a wrist upgrade. We didn't time it, but I didn't expect to after that fiasco. Have I just recalled? Why have I just used my Hearthstone? Mate, my head's not here. I am not with it right now, man. I'm in another land. Oh, I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed out. My head was in bits after these dungeons. We jumped into one more dungeon for the night, which was a 9-stone vault. And I bet you can guess how this one ended. And if you said in disaster, well, you're kind of right. The first few bosses went smooth. But once we got into the final area, I guess everyone's brain power just shut off. The DPS started dying to random stuff, and at one point, the tank just fell over. I managed to save the wipe by quickly life cocooning the Shamir and speed boosted him all the way to safety. We kited back the mobs and took care of them before another team wipe. After that, everyone locked in again. We closed out the stone vault with just a minute remaining. Man, these dungeons have been... They've been rough, man. These 9s and 8s. Goddamn. Taking it out of me. Goddamn. A new day, and that day was Vault Day. So we picked up a nice set piece to kick off the week. Sadly, it's a new week, so we was getting declined by absolutely everyone. So we had to run our own key. There was this monk who claimed he was 3k on his main. People never lie on the internet, right? So we picked him up. Let's see how it goes. The first boss wasn't too bad. These spikes were a little bit nasty because our DPS decided he wanted to play hold hands. And a bit later, I got stuck between a rock and a hard place. No pun intended. We did almost die, and this led to a super sketchy ending. We didn't know if we were going to stick the kill or run to the safe zone. I guess we decided a little bit too late, and we lost 2 DPS. A quick little tip for the Enforcer. When they are fully enraged, you can use paralysis to reset them back to their original state. A few deaths leading to the first boss that was just out of my hands. Oh, this guy's trolling. This boss was a little bit scary for me. I've done this boss a grand total of 4 times as a healer, and each time my tank has tanked it in the corner. So actually moving the boss around the room made this bit of a pain in the ass. It didn't help that my DPS kept getting clipped by the fire tornadoes. I knew at some point someone was gonna die, and thankfully it was the Shamir, because he can just get right back up like nothing ever happened. After a few waves of pain and suffering, we cleared out the boss. And then we made our way to the next pack, where I just stood in the fire because I had so many debuffs on me, I didn't even notice I was taking damage before it was too late. What the fuck? The last boss is another rough boss, but as long as I keep hitting him, we are usually okay. But when the circle shrinks and the dots get placed on someone, it's a pain to deal with. And the same goes when the boss is doing his hentai ritual. But luckily, the ads are up at the same time, so Jade Empowerment just keeps everyone alive. It was only a matter of time before the dot came on me, and naturally, I died. But I got a quick battle res, and we cleared out the boss and secured the 9 Grin Battle. 15 deaths. That was so rough. That guy died so many times. He died 8 times. He said he was a 3k monk. Lying to me. And that is it for this episode. We will continue pushing the higher keys. I'm a lot more comfortable now healing these higher ones. Now it's just a matter if we'll get invited to them. If you like the content, subscribe. If you made it this far, we already know you like the content, so subscribe anyway. Like, comment, all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Welcome. We're back with another episode of I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but we're still coming out on top. Healer Edition. It's been a while since our last episode, and honestly, I've been busy getting absolutely wrecked in Hardcore Classic WoW. Shit, I'm dead. Shit. Oh shit, I'm dead. I did try and make some content out of it, but let's just say it flopped. Hard. So we're back to what we do best, bricking keys and taking an absolute pounding to my mental health. Let's kick it off with our first dungeon of the day, a 10 mist. You heard that right, we're doing 10s now. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be here so soon, but with a decent squad, anything's possible. From what I've heard from the community, playing with a blood DK is super scary. The fact that they can yo-yo from 0 to 100% health is like a roller coaster. But for me, it's a breeze. Most of the DKs I play with are absolute gigachads who barely need a healer. All I gotta do is throw them some hots and a vivify at the start of a pull, and they're absolutely golden. We flew through this dungeon. We didn't really struggle with any packs or bosses, so we managed to get to the final area with just 1 death on the board. The confidence was high going into this final boss. But all good things have to come to an end. You'd think the AoE pulsing or the ads would get me. Nope, these goddamn green swirls. What? I wasn't even in it.
Watch your step.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Bro, I suck.
Watch your step.
No way! Oh my god. I suck so bad. 0 pressure, and we still managed to choke that hard. Luckily, my team didn't need me, and clutched up and took the boss down with no more problems. We cleared the last pack and secured our first time 10 key. It was going so smooth, and I just absolutely threw it. I was like, you know what, I want to die. Got hit by every single swirl. Mistakes happen, but that's just how it goes. 3 battle reses I got in that final fight. Next up on the list is a 10 Arakara, and this one went super smooth. So throughout my journey, there's been 2 talent trees that I've been using. Depending on the dungeon, I'll either use Conduit or Master of Harmony. In this dungeon, I'm running Conduit. This is mostly because I feel like this dungeon has a lot of AoE abilities that I need to worry about. So having that extra oh shit button in my arsenal always comes in handy. The early mechanics in this dungeon can be pretty rough. Call of the Brood and Horrifying Shrill can really mess you up if you're not worried about it. But with a combination of Sheelan's Gift and Jade Lantern, I could easily keep the whole squad alive without any real troubles. It got a little sketchy at the end when everyone decided not to finish off the ads. We still managed to clear out the boss and made our way over to the second boss. And for me, this is a super easy boss as long as I keep hitting it. Well, I say super easy, but I still managed to not keep this warrior alive. If you've watched me before, you already know I prefer taking the middle path at the end of Arakara. This is because the packs are not too hard to heal, and you don't really need to rely on people kicking stuff, which seems to be a massive problem this season. With the Scarab mob, using your stun to stun them just as soon as you get stunned. Stun. A good thing to keep in mind with the Scarab mob is to stun them as soon as you get stunned. This can be a game changer. Normally, if you mistime it, you get stunned and them ads will jump on everyone, and it will normally lead to a wipe. But doing this gives you a little bit of time to keep everyone alive. I can't stand this final boss. It doesn't matter what class I'm playing, it's still a pain in the ass. It doesn't help that I have an ability that makes it so I can't get rooted. So if I'm not locked in and press it, this can happen. Oh no. Oh my god, I'm so bad. We got blasted so far away, there was 0 hope for a battle res. But don't worry, in the next run, we have a game plan. Don't press red green. Don't press red green. Don't press red green. You can press red crane. You can press red crane. Don't press red crane. Don't press red crane. Don't press red crane. Press red crane. Press red crane. Press red crane. Sometimes you've just got to say what to do out loud. We managed to not wipe again and 2-chested a 10 Arakara, which gave us a whopping 50 IO rating. But not only that, we got some pants and got blessed with the one, the only, God Trinket. Oh, you gave me the trinket too. Let's go. There we go. We got the trinket. We got a 10, another 2 chests. My healing's amazing. It's unmatched. Unmatched healing. What a time to be alive. There's no stopping us now. Let's dive right in to a Siege of Bralis. We switched up the talents again. Master of Harmony for this one. This is one of the dungeons where you mostly need damage. So let's run these talents and see how it goes. I'm just going to come out and spoil it now. It didn't go great. We struggled a big time on the first boss. No one really listened to the pings, so the bombs kept going off. I think if we did kite it to the bombs I was pinging, we probably could have DPS'd it down fast enough so that the other bomb didn't go off and kill us. But hindsight's 2020. It is what it is. We did end up wiping, but honestly, I kind of expected that.
And bombs are about to go off. Yep.
I did later find out that I can actually use diffuse magic and tank one of the bombs, but in the moment, I didn't really think of it, and I was super worried I'd still die. We did manage to make it through the first boss, but a bunch of silly deaths and a disconnect leading up to Lockwood really didn't set a good tone for this dungeon. I ended up dying to a swirl, and to be fair, I could barely see it while I was editing, so seeing this in game was next to impossible. This death ended up spelling the end of this dungeon. It sucks, but we are learning from our mistakes.
I don't know, man. That was definitely not timeable, but it was definitely doable, man. It was just really poor coordination. I got hit by a swirl, that was my fault, but like the first boss was not my fault. I pinged the bombs multiple times. We took a little bit of a break and ran the same dungeon again, and this one went a whole lot better. I missed. Oh. He missed. That's unreal. He missed. Oh my god. Yeah, I have no idea how he missed that kite, but that was the only real mistake in this dungeon. The mobs in this dungeon are not really that insane. There's a few stuff you need to kick, as shown on screen, but apart from that, as long as you take your time and keep hitting the mobs, you'll be just fine. Now the real threat of the dungeon, the final boss.
This is gonna be a pain.
Yeah, of course it was a pain. This boss is a healer's nightmare. If you're not quick with the dispels, it can spell disaster. you see what I did there? Dispel, spell, disaster. No? Anyway, having 4 melees on this boss makes it super hard for me to actually hit the boss. So keeping people up is tough. It didn't help that our tank got captured when moving to the next boss. This little misplay made it so we lost our mage. We started getting into a little bit of a rhythm, but soon after that, it all went to shit when moving into the final area. I guess I wasn't too fast with the dispel, so the pally ended up dying, plus I sent the mage flying. I was stood there thinking how much I hate my life right now. The slam goes off, the mage dies, and our tank was fighting for his dear life. But this was kind of a good thing. Now we didn't have another melee preventing me from hitting the boss, so I could actually throw out some heals, but it was still challenging. We almost died a few times, but we kept pushing and timed the key with just 3 minutes left.
I think I got him killed at the end there. I'm pretty sure I dispelled this guy because he was low and ended up hitting the mage, sending him flying into the water. At least we timed that one. That's a 10 Siege of Bralis done. One of the harder ones. So I'm happy with that. Oh crap, he just put the portal down. I think we're so close to Keystone Hero now, you know. Don't know exactly what we need, but let me check. I won't mind getting a Necrotic Wake done, if I'm being completely honest. I'm pretty sure if I get Necrotic Wake done and set your threads, I am Keystone Hero. We are super close to Keystone Hero, so let's lock in and get these dungeons timed. 10 Dawnbreaker, we're switching back to Conduit. Do I really need to explain why? There's so many AoE abilities in this dungeon. We definitely need that extra oh shit button. First boss wasn't too bad this time around. It was a bit hectic considering we have so many melees. I don't think there was much I could have done here to prevent this death, but we still managed to kill the boss without any more casualties. The first elite went fine, but the second elite, not so much. I accidentally hit the lower part with my Jade Lightning, and well, this sent everyone into a bit of a panic. But not us. We stayed locked in. There's a button tracker here. Enjoy my pain and suffering. Could I have played that better? Yeah. But we managed to kill the elite without full wiping, so I call that a win in my book. We moved over to the next elite, and I didn't want the tank to pull the elite with the pack, but I'm just a side character in this dungeon. He's the main character, so he just straight up ignored my request. This dude must have way more confidence than me, because from my experience as a tank, this always goes to shit. But we're also a Giga Chat healer, so we did it with no problems whatsoever. I was not emotionally ready going into this boss fight, so we fumbled pretty early on.
Oh my
god.
God.
Not once, but twice.
Defensive.
For fuck's sake.
We ended up wiping because of this, but we ran it back and it went a little bit smoother. I healed through the mechanics pretty well. My plan was just to try and stack up Sheelan's gift and pop it after the Dark Orb went off, and it was going well. But once I got to the overlap bit, I kinda choked. I forgot to pop my defensive, so we ended up almost dying.
A stone to call forth the darkness.
The final boss on Dawnbreaker, honestly, I don't really find it that hard. As long as I keep hitting the boss and popping defensives when needed, you're pretty much golden. And with that boss down, we make it one step closer to hitting Keystone Hero. Let's not slow down and jump straight in to a Necrotic Wake. All my homies hate Necrotic Wake.
I wonder if he knows his route, because you don't need to pull these on the left. A lot of people pull them at the start, these bags, when in reality all you need to do is pull the soldiers, these, and then the gatekeeper, and then you can pull the bags on the right here. And that's all you need in this area, and kill this pack and this pack over here. Then if you kill everything else... Oh, he's actually sent his route. Yeah, exactly that. Perfect. I don't agree with the lusting on the first pack. Honestly, I don't think the first pack is even that tough, if I'm being completely honest. famous last words, brother.
The first pack really set the mood for the dungeon. We took it out with no real problems. Again, we switched back to Master of Harmony. Blah, 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 blah. We took it out with no real problems, and again, we switched back to Master of Harmony for this dungeon. Having that extra manatee really comes in handy for us. I feel like Necrotic Wake is now one of the easier dungeons this season. It was super tough at the start, but now that everyone knows what they're doing, it can go a lot smoother. But that doesn't mean it can't go from 0 to 100 real quick. But don't forget, we're locked in, so let's see how this one plays out. I'm just going to come out and say it. I thought I hard carried this fight. I was super happy with my performance. But after we cleared it, I wasn't paying too much attention to where my tank was going. So naturally, I went to the next pack. But it turns out we're not doing that anymore. And chaos erupted once again. This one was a little bit sketchy, but we survived and made our way to the next boss. But make sure to pick up this orb along the way. You will need it. The dreaded dragon boss. For me, this is the hardest boss in the dungeon, but our team was good, so it wasn't that hard this time around. Using that orb that I was telling you about on the first set makes it so you can group them all up nicely But on the next rotation, things don't normally go that smooth. People just forget they have kicks, so bringing the mages to the boss can be a bit of a pain. It started getting a little bit sketchy, but we kept our composure and kept everyone alive. Kinda. We made it to the boss that the majority of people hate. Let's see how this one plays out. Oh my god, he missed. That's insane. Oh my god. How did he miss? Okay, that was insane. That man was under zero pressure and whiffed the easiest pull I've ever seen. How did you miss? Thankfully, we locked back in and actually hooked the boss this time. Normally, you want to kill this boss in the first cycle, but sadly, we didn't have Lust up, so the hope of that happening was slim. I ended up choking the next hook, but in my defense, I thought the boss was about to run me down. Oh shit. We landed the next hook and it was smooth sailing from there. We defeated the boss with no more problems. The final boss isn't too bad. I find it hard to constantly stay hitting the boss, so when the AoE pulsing starts going off during the swirl mechanic, it can be a bit of a pain to keep everyone alive. But apart from that, the boss isn't too bad. You can find yourself in some sticky situations though, like this, but there's not much you can really do about it. Just keep pushing forward and DPS the boss down. We timed a key and we finally hit Keystone Hero. Oh, we actually got Keystone Hero off that. Honestly, playing healer is so much fun. I'd really recommend everyone to give it a try. It gives you a whole new perspective on how dungeons play out, and in the long run, I think it will actually make you a better player. Mistweaver kind of plays like a DPS, so the transition over might be actually pretty good for you. Now that we've achieved Keystone Hero, I have no idea what's next. I have a few options in mind, but I'm not really sure what to pursue. The new year's coming up, so I'll probably start making content then. But for now, I hope everyone had a good Christmas and has a happy new year. And again, if you like the content, subscribe. If you've made it this far, we already know you like the content, so subscribe anyway. Like, comment, all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.